there. I thought she got the ball.
Yes, everyone, welcome back to the Irish Hotspur, and this is going to be your Twitter reacts after what was one of the best wins that we've had in a long, long time, regardless if it's this season or not. Last season, this feels like one of the best days we've had as Spurs fans, and we're going to be going back over it. We're going to be reliving it. We're going to be still enjoying it throughout the week, and the best way to do that is through a Twitter react. Sorry that this hasn't come out as a pre-record. I had some plans with some friends right after the game that I completely forgot about, so I had to rush over and do that. And then Dave also as well had some things that came up as well. So we just weren't able to put out the content that we normally would kind of in advance for today. So big apologies on that on our end. Hopefully, though, you guys are doing okay and have been able to find some sort of other content to be able to supply as well as replenish any of that energy that we've been given from that Man United win. And it was such a great win. And so I am looking forward to this Twitter reacts to do with y'all. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you can for us, smash the like button. Feel free as well to get into the comments. Let me know anything that you want me to talk about or discuss, or maybe even a tweet or something that we go through. You're welcome to ask me to scroll back to, but really appreciate you guys. And unfortunately, Dave is going to be out of the office today. He had some things that came up personally. So it is just going to be your boy, Jack, only solo, rocking the Twitter react solo style. And thanks for joining me for this one. But let's get straight into it. We have MP Joker Davis in the house. Good to see you, sir. He says, I can't be the only one thinking of adding Johnson to the fantasy team. Wouldn't really put that past you, but MV Joker Davis or a Big Eddie. I think that's not a bad idea. He's 4-4 at the moment. The prophecy seems to be coming true with Brendan Johnson. Solanke as well is not a bad person to have in your fantasy team at this moment in time, right? He has 3-3. He's been helping me out. Cantab saying loving the title. Yeah, I thought that was there's so many good titles I could have come up with, but that one just seemed kind of simple and easy and made a lot of sense to me. But thank you, I appreciate that. Guns and football and things. Good to see you. Let's go, Jack and Dave are in the house. Big up, everyone. I'm so happy and proud of my team. We were amazing. Come on, you Spurs. Easily one of the best performances I've ever seen from Spurs in a long, long time. Might be the best performance I've ever seen under Ange Postecoglou since he's came into the job. And I really, really loved everything about it. 1-11. I didn't think there was a single bad performance, even though Werner, of course, missed some absolute sitters. If you actually look at his performance as a whole, thought he actually did all right and surprised maybe a few people with what he was doing to Mazraoui. He was causing problems. He was being able to run at fullbacks. He was causing Mazraoui a lot of problems. I really think that he was a very good player on the day and was helping us out a lot in the final third. It's just that when he ends up getting the chances himself, it's a whole nother story with Timo Weenie. But it was a really good performance, 1-11, very, very solid. And we also have Beyond 72 in the house saying that 3-0 victory must have hurt all the glory hunters. Indeed, it must have, especially with Man United, right? You know, for me as an American, they kind of remind me of the Yankees or like the LA Lakers, where they're the team that you're just supposed to reckon with. They're the team that you're supposed to have to talk about. You have to listen to them no matter what's going on, whether it's good, whether it's bad. It's Manchester United, right? This is supposed to be Manchester United Football Club, all that sort of type of stuff. And it is, I actually find pretty entertaining whenever they lose in this type of manner, because then you just get to lap up the misery for at least, a few weeks, because it does drone on for a lot longer than it would with other clubs who get slapped up 3-0 like they did. And it feels really good that it was Spurs, being given the compliments, being gifted, kind of the praise for that performance. I think we probably deserve more praise than what I've seen. I think a lot of people alluded to that we weren't probably going to get as much praise as we might deserve, because with Manchester United and the misery and the pain that they're going through, they are going to probably focus on themselves, and a lot of the media attention is going to be on how bad Manchester United were instead of how good Spurs were. And I kind of am prepared for that, but I'm still going to be lapping up a lot of the misery and a lot of the pain. I feast on the bones of Manchester United losses, as well as other big team losses. But with Manchester United, I find it just to be that extra bit sweet, that extra bit funny. So hopefully you get a little sickly feeling or kind of a dark humor from it like I do. Big up to you, though. Beyond 72. Big up to Looper Cal. Come on, you Spurs. Been a great day at work. I bet it has. Looper Cal walking in with a pep in your step. The Big D saying, really, really enjoyed that result and performance yesterday. All my family are Man United fans as well. I mean, in America as well, in the USA, there are tons of Man United fans. Even across the world, there's probably, yeah, the biggest football club really there is in the world next to Real Madrid. It's just anywhere you go, whether you go to Asia, whether you go to Africa, go to South America, go to the USA, North America, you're going to find Manchester United fans in their numbers and in plenty of numbers. And when it comes to being a Spurs fan, it does feel like sometimes you're a bit in a lonelier world, right? You have to really fend for yourself. You don't always have as many Spurs buddies or as many Spurs friends to kind of, huddle up with and be able to focus on, what you're doing right and what things are going well for you. Sometimes you have to even talk about other clubs that maybe you don't even want to as a Spurs fan, just because everyone else seems to be a Manchester United fan. Everyone else seems to be a Chelsea fan, kind of like what Beyond 72 says, a bit of the glory hunters, if you will. Whereas us Spurs fans, we usually have to be very patient and wait for days like this. And it does feel very, very good. So hopefully the big D, you're celebrating, you're feeling very good about the week ahead. Good to see you as well. Arsen Lubin saying, great game. We were amazing every game since the Coventry game. We've been getting better and better. I definitely would agree with that one. Mr. Gamer, so happy for the Solanke goals. I am very happy for the Solanke goals. Big, big Solanke fan myself. Was backing him from the moment that he was signed. Was actually a fan of his last season for Bournemouth. I just thought he was one of the more underrated and unsung kind of strikers of last season, where he had such terrific numbers and had a really, really solid campaign throughout the season. And I don't feel like he was given enough praise and was given enough attention for it. And I was saying to Dave, even during the time where we weren't linked with him at all, like he was still just a player at Bournemouth, I was saying, you know what, kind of like Solanke. I wouldn't actually mind him at Spurs. And I think, especially saying that during the middle of last season, while he didn't even reach the 20 goals yet, I think that would have been a very hot take to have said on the air. As I probably only said it once or twice to anybody. But to Dave, I was saying it a lot behind the scenes, and it feels really good to see our boy Solanke being that poacher, right? Someone that can just score the scrappy goals, be there at the right place at the right time, sniff out those chances that might look like tap ins, but for strikers, that's why they excel in that type of thing. They know where to be when those moments arise, and they know how to sniff out those kind of spilled shots and parries from the keeper. And I think Solanke has done that. Probably needs to do a bit better sometimes in one of these one-on-one finishing and chances. He had that one where he's played in, should have done better, should have put that in the back of the net, probably should have had 2 goals on the day. But he does a lot of the little things right, works really hard off of the ball, is able to hold up the ball as well for us. Really physical player too, so he actually does challenge the opposition center backs and gives them a lot to think about, whether you're hitting it long to him or he's dropping deep and he's holding them off with his back to goal. He's done a lot of good things right for us, Slank, and he's doing a lot of the little things right. And then if he matches that with the goal output, then we got ourselves a real complete striker for this Ange Postecoglou system, at least in my opinion. Steve T, big up Steve. Good to see you, member of the Steve Army. DYT2, Timo will score 4 and 4 in the next 4 games. Now that's a prophecy I'd love to see come true. Steve T saying that Spurs are roughly 200 million Spurs fans worldwide. I mean, that's plenty. I mean, I'm happy to be a Spurs fan. I love being a Spurs fan, but I think in comparison to Manchester United, right, they are definitely the biggest club in the world, at least next to Real Madrid. They must be close to almost a billion fans, you would think, but maybe that's just way overestimating that, and it just feels like there are that many Manchester United fans. But really appreciate you guys. Anybody that has tuned in, if you can for me, smash that like button. Do get into the comments. Feel free to stop me at any point if you would like to. And also, if you guys want to support the channel a little bit further, you can become a member. Unfortunately, the fan show will not be tonight. Will be pushed to later on this week. Might be tomorrow, might be Wednesday. I haven't made a confirmed decision on that because I still need to kind of communicate with Dave and see what works within his schedule. So do stay tuned for that. Look out for that in the community section. But really do appreciate all the support that you guys have shown us over the weekend and just in general this season. It's been a really kind of grafting season from Dave and myself. We're trying to put out as much content as we can. We're trying to dissect Spurs in the best ways that we can. And we're trying to put out a lot of different types of content for you guys, not just transfer rumors and kind of stuff like that. That, in my opinion, it can be a bit boring. We're trying to put out a lot of different fun Spurs content. And of course, you want to recommend anything, you're certainly welcome to. But if you wanted to support the channel a little bit further, if you would like, you certainly can pick up a membership and we'd be very appreciative of that. But fan cams, if you wanted to send in a fan cam still after the great game, if you are a fan show member, if you are an elite show member, you certainly can do that. You can text me that, the video if you want to. You can email us the video. Email would be in the description of every video as well. It's also, there should be a post for it in the community section for you guys. So feel free to do that and send those fan cams in. I'd be happy to upload them. Unfortunately, we uploaded some of them pretty late because, like I said, I had something to deal with, with a friend. I had some unexpected plans I totally forgot about after celebrating the Man United win. So I was actually out of the office after the win, and Dave has also had some things come up as well personally that he's had to deal with too. But we would love to be able to get those fan cams in, so please send them in to us. But I think I'm about to get this started. Going to greet a few more people. Darren Johnson, good to see you. Evening, Jack. Doing all right, my friend. How about you? Dr. Johnny D. Solanke works like a madman. He did some guest appearances as a false center back blocking shots and headers. He does know how to also throw himself about, right? He knows how to be able to be that physical striker that can also help us with any, kind of corner set pieces, like what Richarlison did for us last season, like what Harry Kane has done for us. Chalks Talks Tottenham, love that name. Good afternoon. You got a great channel. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the kind words. Ribsy85, half the people who know absolutely nothing about people and never watch a game will just answer Manchester United if you ask them what team they follow. It's kind of like, just asking any person, who do you know in football? They'll most likely say, right, Manchester United, Ronaldo, Messi, David Beckham, kind of the usual. It's just, like I said, it's like the Yankees, it's like the LA Lakers. You just have to force to be reckoned with them. The one and only Big Mike. Good to see you, Big Mike, and really appreciate your support. Still being a member and still follow along the channel. Really been missing you, my man. I understand if things are busy, got a lot of life stuff going on, but we've been missing you on the fan shows. Love to get you on a panel show at any point too, because Dave and I really liked what you had to say. And also, if you are a fan show member, elite show member, send in those fan cams, man. If you have any post-match thoughts on the game, you can send them to Dave and I's number. You can email us. If you want to get down our number, just send a quick email to Dave or I, and we'd be happy to get you involved. But we would love to see you on the channel a bit more often if you're interested in that, Big Mike. I don't want to force you though, but really appreciate your support for the channel. Ian Ferguson, good to see you. How you feeling this week, Ian? I bet you're going into work feeling good. Elvis G, evening, Jack. I did say I had a good feeling about Sunday. I did as well. I was actually going into the game relatively confident. The only thing that I said that I was slightly worried about was Manchester United, especially under Ten Hag, especially under Ten Hag. They've had that weird thing where they've gotten results that they don't deserve, and they've played horribly in games and then we'll still get a result sometimes. And that was my only worry, was that we were going to play well. I was confident we were going to play well. It was just, were we going to get the result that we deserved? And we absolutely did, and more. And it feels really, really good, doesn't it, Elvis G? But that was my only worry going into the game. We did a Manchester robbery yesterday, says DJ Samuel. Absolutely. Big up, Big Mike. Thanks for following me back on that. And DYT2 was happening with Richie. Is he injured? What's his injury? Yeah, I think it is something maybe mental as well as physical at the same time. And we wish Richie the best of recoveries. I'm a big fan of his, and I think he would be a huge asset to us when he can come back in this season. Hard to say whether he'll be at Spurs for a long time, but I think he'll be here for at least this season. And I think he would really help us out. He could give Solanke some rest, still would offer things very similar to what Solanke does from the front line. And I think he is a special player when he is feeling confident and when he is 100% healthy. But now see a lot of people in here. AZ Spurs, good to see you. Let me know if that represents Arizona Spurs or it might just be something else. But really appreciate you joining in. Good to see you. Smash the like button for us. Do get into the comments. Feel free to stop me at any point if you would like to. Like I said, grabbing a membership, just sending an opinion in, or if you'd like to as a super chat, you're certainly welcome to do it. And we're very appreciative of it. Let's get into it. Twitter Reacts time here, everybody. And apologies that, again, this hasn't come out as a pre-record, like I said, to some people who already joined the stream earlier. Had some things come up where I actually had an unexpected and forgotten kind of time with a friend, when we saw the last Mariners game of the season. Totally forgot that I actually signed up to do that with him. And I had to rush off after the game, after celebrating Man United game, and go do that. And then Dave also has some things that had come up as well. So we are going to be doing the Twitter Reacts live. Not something that we're going to plan on doing all the time, but if you guys do enjoy it in this sort of format, feel free to let us know. We could try to do it more often, but I think a lot of people do prefer them sometimes to be uploaded as a pre-record, a nice fun thing to start the week off with in the morning. But let's go straight up to it. Paddy Power, no one, Mickey Van de Ven. I mean, he's just easily the most ridiculous center back when it comes to athleticism. He might be the most athletic center back I might have ever seen in a Spurs shirt. I wasn't able to catch the best of Ledley King, but you wonder if Mickey Van de Ven maybe even peaks Ledley King when it comes to just being a sheer athletic specimen of a center back. And what a run that was. And no center back in the world can do what he just did yesterday. Paddy Power also, again, Spurs fans seeing Christian Eriksen fail to beat the first man from a set piece. Yes, very, very familiar feelings. Very familiar feelings. And hate to plug myself. I did see, sorry, just checking on the chat, making sure everything's okay. And I accidentally put the screen way over to my right. So I have to take a very harsh or sharp look at it. Good to see Dr. Johnny D, though. And Tyler, big up, Big T. Hopefully you're okay, my friend. Hopefully you're feeling all right today. Um, Absolutely love that you've been a lifelong fan, not span, as well, AZ Spurs fan. Big up to you, my friend. Jack, reading my own tweets here, got a little overboard, but I decided to include my own tweet because I think I'm very funny sometimes, even though when I'm probably not. And I wrote, I'm looking forward to a whole week of this is supposed to be Manchester United Football Club. And I am indeed looking forward to that. It's just one of those things that I do get a good chuckle out of whenever you see an angry Man United rant. You always get that version of, this is Manchester United Football Club, or this is supposed to be Manchester United Football Club. We're talking about Manchester United here, that type of sentiment. And I absolutely love whenever those phrases get uttered because they come out way too often. And they also seem to be coming out almost every other week with the Man United results. So it's just one of my favorite little lines that comes out quite often. Billy saying, no way Kulusevski went from a decent winger to a pretty good 10 to an okay striker to our best midfielder. What a player, man. And what a performance from our man Kulusevski yesterday. Absolutely man of the match for me. And just pretty much didn't put a foot wrong the entire game, from the finish to his first touch to the way he was bringing others into play, the combinations he had with James Maddison as well. Honestly, the best Kulusevski performance maybe I've ever seen in a long, long time. He's really coming into his own now in that midfield. There was really brilliant to see. Darren Johnson, no, Ericsson has not changed at all from corners, hasn't he? No, he has not. Flab saying he's got to go, Annie. I think he does have to go. Doogie Critchley, and I think we're talking about a certain Ten Hag, not an Ange Postecoglou. Doogie Critchley saying, I'm not sure any center back in the Premier League's recent history could do that. Rudiger went on the odd run, but not like that. That break at that speed for the second time this season, that is just unique. Mickey Van de Ven. I think it was more than unique. I don't think we have ever seen anything like that from Mickey Van de Ven, or not Mickey Van de Ven, from pretty much any center back in Premier League history, really. Like, it's just that he has such a special ability to carry the ball almost as fast as anyone else can, right? He runs with the ball almost fast as most strikers and most wingers do. But then he also has probably the best wheels, the best speed of any player in the Premier League, hands down. And just to be able to be that technically gifted while also being that athletic is just unbelievable to watch. Wheelsy, one of my favorite Twitter accounts. Please follow this guy, Alex Wheel. We are back up the Spurs, and I absolutely love those 360, those donut spins. Mikey Moore, what a win. Thank you all for the fans. Thank you all to the fans. You were unbelievable. I mean, he nearly scored that one ridiculous strike. And if that went in, I'm not even sure what I would have done with myself if he scored that. I think I would have been probably running through the wall at that point, would have canceled the stream. I just would have lost that much composure seeing him do that. But what a performance from the players, and also great to see Mikey Moore as well. Some of our younger players be given that chance. Just taking a sip of the coffee. Forgive me, everybody. United Spurs of America, but he is naive. But shut the f up and just cooking, baby. Love that from Jacob. And United Spurs of America, great Twitter account, came from the lane saying Dejan Kulusevski and yes, and Pep Guardiola, right? Someone.
What a play,
right? Big fan of Kulusevski. Actually, should put on the headphones if I want to. At any point, try to listen to some of these videos, but I think you guys can be able to hear them unless I'm mistaken, but you should be able to hear some of the stuff that comes from the videos. Good to see as well. Hope Gaming in the chat. Why has Mickey Van de Ven tried to become a winger forward? He's that good. He could probably, if you had 3 Mickey Van de Vens in the team, you could spread them about the pitch. You could put one at fullback, put one on the wings, maybe even put one in midfield, put one at center back. He could probably be a decent striker as well. Maybe a whole 11 of Mickey Van de Vens, and you wouldn't do that bad in the Premier League. At least I'd say so. But absolutely incredible performance from our man Mickey. Really loved everything about that performance, and just love what he can do on the football pitch. He's just an incredible player. But trying to hopefully be able to hear this through the headphone.
Kulusevski, what a play.
There it is. There it is. Our man Pep Guardiola from the very get-go, from the very beginning, knew that our man Kulusevski was a brilliant player. Cody Mack saying Van de Ven just turned this into an effing tap-in for Brendan Johnson. That's the thing, right? It really was Brendan Johnson, or sorry, it was Brendan Johnson's goal, but it really was Mickey Van de Ven's goal. He just did everything there. And Brendan Johnson, right place at the right time. Credit to him for doing that, for being at the right place at the right time. But it was Van de Ven's goal for me. Just what a run. Also, what a cross as well. To make that run in itself is already ridiculous. But then to put in that cross absolutely on a plate for Brennan Johnson, just what a move, what a player. Aaron Lennon Johnson again, Van de Ven, by the way, what a player. Aaron Lennon's been very active on the social medias of recent, which has been very fun to see. And I absolutely love this. Whoever put this filter on the clowns video, take a bow. Brilliant. We're just going to briefly watch this from Mark Gold.
Where's the fucking discipline in this team? Where's the concentration in this team? Absolutely incredible. Fucking idiots. You know what that comes from? Rashford and Garnacho running away from the fucking ball.
Absolutely brilliant from Super Spur. HLTCO, Brendan Johnson has taken the abuse and turned it into goals. Some lad, I mean, the prophecy is coming true from what we can tell. Seb Martin is in here. Good to see you, Seb. No longer worried when this man comes on the pitch. Showed such maturity in his cameos so far this season. Quality option. He's been very quality. I think he had a really good preseason, and that's where I felt really bad for Jed Spence. I just don't think he was rewarded for that incredible preseason where he actually looked like one of the sharper players in the entire squad and deserved, I think, more minutes than he has been given so far this season. I think he's been really hard done by to not be in the Europa League squad. I think he could have easily been put ahead of someone like a Fraser Forster. I understand that we had to make up for homegrown quotas and whatnot and requirements when it comes to guys like Alfie Whiteman, Brandon Austin, but we needed to find a way to get Jed Spence in there. And I think he's been really hard done by. So hopefully Ange Postecoglou finds a way to give him more and more minutes throughout the season. And he could think about whenever Pedro Porro or Destiny Udogie need rest, he should look to Jed Spence and just put him on, halftime, last 30 minutes of a game or something like that, or even give him the occasional start because I think he hasn't put a foot wrong. He's been really good going forward. He knows how to be able to track back. He has the similar type recovery pace to someone like Mickey Van de Ven, which has been very useful for us. So anytime that we are caught out a little bit, we have these athletic type defenders, really smart players as well, not just athleticism, that can come back and be able to save us from any little bits of trouble. Um, Good to see United Spurs of America. Thank you for telling me that we can hear the audio. I was having a little bit of a technical difficulty, just making sure that I could do that. And I forgot to put in the headphones as well. Too darn soulfuls in the house. For me, the improvement has been the tempo we have been playing. We've been playing makes so much difference. Dean Davis, will big teams be looking at Van de Ven? I mean, if they haven't already, they probably will be. But I think as we have Daniel Levy in charge, he's not going to be given any cheap prices for someone like Van de Ven. I think he'll be probably quoting something around 200 million if he quoted 150 million for Romero, who I think is probably worth almost that much. I think Romero is 100 million plus pound center back, but Mickey Van de Ven almost is another story. Maybe you have to double that. Might have to pay the same price that you would for someone like a Kylian Mbappe. Dr. Johnny D saying Spence has been great. He's been, I think, very, very solid for us. And like I said, I think he's probably deserved more minutes this season. It just has been hard done by. Simon Yemain saying this performance by Bentancur has been outstanding. I think it has been. And I think Bentancur for me was kind of just so elite at picking up the ball and making those kind of defensive recoveries in midfield. So anytime that there was a loose ball, anytime that there was a 50-50, he was always there to clean it up and mop it up for us. And what he also did a good job of was anytime that he did pick up the ball from maybe kind of a defensive kind of moment, or there was a loose ball in the midfield, he just did so good at getting it back into the feet of some of our midfielders or getting it into the strikers really quickly. He didn't, mop about with it. He didn't kind of slow things down. He kept the tempo, he kept the pace. Super classy as well sometimes with some of the touches, some of the times that he was under pressure, some of the little pokes that he had to make in order to get it to someone when there was that, again, that bit of a 50-50 there. He just dealt with everything super well and a really solid performance for Bentancur. I even said during the watch along that I felt like what Rodri is often praised for in a game, I think Bentancur should have been praised for, because Rodri is often praised for kind of being that metronome in the midfield, keeping things ticking, but also being that defensive presence that shores things up, wins the ball back for you quickly, and then is able to feed it back into the wingers and to the strikers. And I think Bentancur had a Rodri like performance in midfield, just really classy and almost under the radar as well to a degree. And I think that's, again, just the sign of a really good number six and a really good player in the midfield. And we want to see Bentancur back to his best because before he picked up those massive injuries, this guy really was looking like one of the best midfielders, at least in the Premier League, with how in form he was and how good he was looking before he picked up those injuries in the World Cup and then afterwards. And let's hope that Bentancur came back to his best, because if we can get a Bentancur back to his best, we'll be looking like a very scary team in that midfield. Mr. Black Jocks, Black Fox, Brendan Johnson, since deactivating his Instagram, I think everybody wants the Gareth Bale prophecy to come true with Mr. Brendan Johnson. Why is Twitter being weird? I'm gonna have to go back to the bottom there. Sorry, everybody. It's like hovering over the guy's profile for some reason. It wouldn't let me click out of it. I'm just gonna have to scroll back to the bottom here. So much stuff that I have to get through, but really looking forward to it. Who doesn't love Twitter Reacts when we have this much content to be able to get through? Just going to keep scrolling. There we are, back to where we were. Jake saying, so anyways, the Musa Dembele successor we've all been waiting for is Kulusevski. I think with Kulusevski, he's so special in that midfield because he works so hard. He's able to be one of the best, players off of the ball, right? And trying to win the ball back for us, never stops running, relentless energy. But he is a bit like Musa Dembele in the sense that he's very physical in the way that he carries the ball. He has no problem, putting his back to his defender, spinning his man, and then running at the opposition backline or the opposition midfielders. He's very skillful on the ball, like Musa Dembele was. Has a lot of flair in his game, like Musa Dembele does, and then he has no problem just taking a touch past his player, but then almost overpowering them with that touch as well, kind of like Musa Dembele. And I think a lot of people used to say about Dembele was you even knew sometimes where he wanted to go, where he wanted to take it, but there's nothing you could do. You couldn't really stop him. And I think Kulusevski is a tad bit similar, where he's not that pacey or anything. So sometimes you might know where he wants to go with it, but he'll still take it past you and he'll still overpower you, which really does make him, I think, a tad bit of a Musa Dembele regen. Paul Enduar, good to see you. We were mustered yesterday. That we were. Ash P, Twitter Reacts was waiting for this. Sorry they didn't come out as a pre-record Ashes. Things came up on Sunday night. And we're going to have to do it again as a live show, but hopefully you still enjoy it. Thank you so much for supporting the channel as well. Rick and Brighton, good to see you, Rick. Pound for pound, cheat code Van de Ven. That's what I was calling him yesterday, the cheat code. Van de Ven's hammies are the most valuable assets in the whole of football at 200 million pounds on their own, lightly sauteed. I think they are probably the most expensive pairs of hamstrings that maybe Spurs have ever had, in their team. Absolutely right, Rick. Really appreciate you. And thanks for coming in here. Paul G, good but quiet game for Bentancur. The threats on the wing, long ball. Romero and Porro had Rashford in their pockets. Indeed, they did. Harley Taylor, thank you, everybody. If you can for me, smash that like button. Hopefully you are enjoying this Twitter Reacts. And again, if you want to support the channel further, feel free to grab a membership and also just send in your comments and I'll get to them while I'm going through this. But really appreciate any of you guys that have tuned in for this one. Troll football, Arsenal seeing Man United to tack on it with 10 men. I think it didn't end up working out for them, though. Let's be honest. Ayudi saying absolutely love a huddle at full time after we got a clean sheet. And actually, you can see here, I think from this huddle, you can see, I think Solanke and Vicario. That's right. This was the part I was looking for. Vicario really giving Solanke that praise, really giving him that lovely hug and that lovely kind of confirmation of a good performance. And these are the vibes. These are the teamwork. These are the kind of camaraderie that we want to be seeing, I think, in our squad. Luca M saying a winger, a 10, and an 8, becoming a dominant midfield in phase 2, whilst we got 2 holding mids in phase 9. We are not the same. I'll be honest, don't really, pay attention that much to the whole kind of, I think it's a very sort of yank type stats, type thing to do, to talk about phase 9 and like sectors and like whatever things like that people seem to be using nowadays when it comes to tactics. But I'm all for it. And, Ange knows better than me when it comes to tactics. And if that's how he's talking about it, then I don't really care. We're looking absolutely saucy in that midfield. And the combination of both Madison and Kulusevski has worked wonders for us. And then we're also starting to see some really good competition between Bentancur and Basuma, whichever ones ends up winning out. And that number 6 role, I think we'll be happy to, be the beneficiaries of it because I think they're really pushing each other and we're getting the best performances we can out of them. And it's also really nice to have guys like Pop Matasar coming in, as an option, guys like Bergvall coming in as an option. I think that midfield, we're really starting to build something very special there. And Dave Ellis saying goodnight. This probably should have been on the thumbnail. Absolutely love that bit of Photoshop. You could barely even tell actually for a second. I had to look at it twice. I was like, wait a minute, is that Brendan Johnson? Snuck in there. Absolutely love that one. Daniel Brennan goal, Kulusevski goal, Solanke goal, Unreal Van de Ven assist, Moore and Bergvall minutes, Spence cameo, clean sheet, win at Old Trafford, 3 points, get the Conceição cigars out, baby. Love that from Daniel. And by the way, everybody, I'm not going to play it, but this interview from Brennan Johnson I actually thought was class. He really just has a really he speaks really well, really mature, just good analysis too. Like I actually thought, word for word, everything was just perfect from Brennan Johnson. So I would check this out. Head over to the Spurs social medias. Might be on YouTube. I'm not sure, but I did find this one on Twitter, and I thought this was a really class interview from Brennan Johnson. If you guys haven't seen it, just telling you guys to take a look at that. And I just thought he had a lot of really good things to say. Really enjoyed what our man Brennan was talking about. Geez, I'm gonna have to go back to the bottom again. It seems to do that thing where like anytime I hover over and then it won't let me click out of it. A little bit annoying, but we're getting through the Twitter reacts. We're getting through it. We're not trying to go too fast, but we're not trying to go too slow either. And thanks again, everybody, for tuning in for this one. I decided to start at the bottom because I had so much to get through that I actually didn't want to miss a lot of the stuff that I was initially kind of bookmarking and initially kind of putting in here. Billy saying, finally a result to match the performance. Been due all season, 4 wins in a row. Surely time to get behind these lot and the manager and see what happens. Up the effing Spurs. Exactly right, Billy. Great performance and time to get behind Ange. Time to get behind these players. Troll Football says we lost because we played against 2 teams, Tottenham and Hotspurs. This isn't fair. I actually haven't been able to check the Eric Ten Hag post-match interview and press conference, but I am looking forward to it. I'm sure there are lots of excuses. I'm sure there are lots of at the end. He's such a weird talker at times. Like I don't think he comes across very well in his press conferences and in his interviews compared to our man Ange, who the only thing that I would give a tiny bit of a I don't even know if it's criticism or anything, whatever word you want to call it, don't really care. But with Ange, I think sometimes he ends up kind of speaking too truthfully or kind of too much from the heart at times, where Ange kind of he would almost help himself out a bit more if he just sort of said something without saying anything, if you know what I mean. They're the managers who can talk for 5, 6 minutes. And then you really look back at what they say, and you can't really even tell if any of it makes any sense, or there's not really that much to really dissect or break down. But in times like this, when we're winning, when we get the truthful, honest Ange, I think we love it, right? We get to bask in the win more. We get to see how he's really thinking about it. Get to hear his truthful, hard thought analysis. But maybe when times have gone maybe not so well under Ange, I do feel like maybe he kind of sort of you know how it is. Like with I don't even know what I'm trying to point out, but I think what I'm trying to say is with the media, they have picked out his words before and they have used his words against him, probably most of the time unfairly, if I may add, used his words against him. And so I just feel like maybe Ange could help himself out every now and again by just kind of sometimes saying something without really saying anything. But that's just me on it. And that's just kind of how I feel sometimes about kind of the media and the football media in general, because they are lots of times out to get you, especially when things aren't going well, and maybe he could help himself out in that regard. But when you're winning, really good to see someone who can actually speak truthfully and actually be honest with the fans and honest with himself and whatnot. Maybe you guys understand what I'm saying. If not, it's probably not a great point that I was really trying to make there. If he lied, Steve T. Just rewatched the entire game this afternoon. Amazing. Had not had such a hard game midweek. The score would have been 6 or 7. Yeah, I agree. And actually should have been 6 or 7, really. Like you look at it, Timo Werner should have scored 2. I think Solanke should have scored 1 as well. So those are 3 goals that I say should have gone in the back of the net. And I think for the most part, a very, very strong performance from Spurs. One of the best performances I've ever seen under Ange Postecoglou. Probably the best one I've seen under Ange. One of the best ones I've seen from Spurs at Manchester United at Old Trafford in my lifetime. Maybe the best I've seen at Old Trafford. 3-0 win away at Old Trafford. Brendan Johnson goal. Dejan 10 out of 10 performance with a goal. Big Dom goal once again. Clean sheet. Van de Ven assist. Ange Aura. What a game. What a day. What a game and what a day indeed. You need more than a year to perfect Ange ball. I think a lot of people need a lot of time to really embed their style and in their tactics. I think it's quite rare for a manager to be able to basically, implement everything they need to within the first season. Lots of times there are going to be hiccups and bumps along the road. I just think with Ange, it's been a very mixed one where he started off so well, practically perfectly, that it then rose the expectation levels for a lot of Spurs fans. And then things started to peter out. We started to show signs of a struggle. Lots of times I don't think that was really due to him. It was just due to the injuries, due to the lack of a focal striker that we had up top because Richarlison's never been consistently available. And we needed more than just Richarlison, I think, at the end of the day. And I think Ange hasn't really been also given the full backing by Daniel Levy. He's had to work with a lot of younger players, guys that are, I think, eventually going to be top players and top talents in the Premier League, but still need time, right? And still will have some iffy periods for us in their development. And I think he's had to manage all of that, tried to deal with it as best he can, and I think that's why we've seen these kind of bumps and these dips, but also, if we keep the patience, if we, stick by someone, we can really see the benefits of that. And I think we're starting to hopefully see that right now with this past bit run of form. It's just been really excellent football indeed. Madison should have scored too. I'm trying to think of one of James Madison's chances. He had a couple of those at the top of the penalty area that maybe he could have done a little bit better with. Um, I think a tough game on Sunday after a Euro trip. These are the kind of games that I worry about. I think we did very good. I am Storm the Madness. I think we were very good on the day. And Son would have left with the match ball, I think he definitely would have been able to score those Werner chances. Think about it, if that was Sonny played him behind instead of Timo Werner. I think that goes in the back of the net pretty much every single time. Still Motion, good to see you in the house. Thanks for supporting the channel as well as a member. Saying great result. Come on, you Spurs. United fans, an absolute meltdown. Not saying much about how good we were, though. Yeah, I think that's what I was bringing up earlier, that's just going to happen, right? When you're Spurs, no one's going to show you as much praise as you probably deserve. But then also with Manchester United, it's just going to be a lot of this is supposed to be Manchester United. This is Manchester United Football Club, a bunch of stuff like that, right? And they're just going to be in their own misery and meltdown for a while now before they ever start showing Spurs any praise. But really good to see Orezum as well. Paul Endor, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Harley Taylor as well from earlier. Thank you for asking everybody to smash the like. I'm very appreciative of that. Let's keep it moving. Pedro Porro +3 and clean sheet in Old Trafford at Spurs official. Great performance from our man Pedro. And hopefully you guys can catch some of these images. Thought they were great. Look at that screen between him and Vicario there. Love that bit of celebration with him, Solanke, and Romero. Romero was very happy to see Solanke score and seems to have a good connection with our big Dom as well. Look at him closing down Rashford, keeping him in his back pocket. And then also just a good cameo, a good little smile from Pedro Porro, who definitely has some of the best smiles, I think, in the Premier League. Man of the match, very photogenic player. Man of the match, for me, been pretty much unplayable so far this season. Kulusevski was my man of the match, hands down. I don't really think you could maybe offer up some other candidates, maybe like a Van de Ven or someone like that. Brandon Johnson had a very solid game as well, but I would give it to Kulusevski. Just thought he was absolutely unreal. Thought he was unplayable on the day. Cody Mack saying, I know United are awful, but that's a solid win for a side that struggled to do so away from home. I feel so much better after the last 8 days. Solanke's return and Kulusevski's rebirth in midfield are huge catalysts. And bravo, Brennan Johnson. I love a good redemption. Good on you. Almost Emerson Royale like, the redemption, if not better than the Emerson Royale redemption arc, because Brennan Johnson, a much criticized, much maligned player by Dave and I at one point. He was someone that we'd been given a lot of criticism for because it felt like a lot of the chances do fall Brennan Johnson's way, and he just wasn't making the most of them. And there's even, some stats to back that up from last season that he could have actually scored and assisted even more last season. But this season, he's shown up at the right time for us, really has. And he's been a brilliant guy to come through in this really crucial point when things were starting to go kind of a bit iffy, when there was that little bit of a dip and, fan base was split on Ange, fan base were kind of split on even the players in the squad. Brennan Johnson has stepped up at the right place at the right time, and bravo to him as well. And also considering, all the abuse that he was given, I think at the end of the day, it's fine when fans give their opinions, they give their criticism, they give their thoughts on a player, right? But you should try to keep it respectful, and you shouldn't have to be going to someone's personal Instagram and social medias and stuff like that. I just think that's taken it way too far, if not is a bit disgusting. And, we just kind of give our opinions, on this platform on YouTube as best we can, but we try to keep it just football related. And I think Johnson has done incredibly well, considering all the criticism and considering especially the abuse that he was given. And bravo to this guy. Very similar to an Emerson Royale redemption arc, if I may add. Alfie saying I would have run down the street knee sliding on pure concrete had this got in. What a hit from Mikey Moore. I was almost thinking it was going in. I was getting ready to get out the seat here. He just cuts inside, skips past, I think Erickson there, and then has a little bit of an angle to go for a worldy of a curler. And Onana as well looked a little sketched out by that, but he just couldn't really get enough bend on it. At the end of the day, gosh, and this one that thing happened again where it seems to hover. I'm getting a little annoyed by it, but we're gonna keep it moving. Like I said, we're getting eventually to the top there, starting to make some progress from what I can tell. But been really enjoying these tweets so far. Got a lot of good stuff for you guys. Got a lot of good stuff for you guys. I think. Where are we next? Where are we next? Yes, here we are. Karen Lennon just saying Kulusevski, what a performance indeed. And Aaron Lennon, just to see him on the social medias has been unbelievable. It's been great to see our boy Aaron Lennon, such a Spurs legend for me and Dave, and someone who I always had a real big soft spot for. Micah saying normal gravy, different gravy with Kulusevski. Kulusevski is different gravy. Peter Lars, Rio Ferdinand is now so embarrassed by Man United, he's even denying ever playing for them. Rio Ferdinand thought it was never a red card, but he's saying he was never a red. Alex, remember when Timo Werner hit 36 goals and assists in a single Bundesliga season? That's my thing with Timo Werner is I think he has been cursed or something like that because this guy at one point was one of the hottest rated strikers in European football. This guy was banging in the goals for RB Leipzig. He had a very solid campaign that got him to RB Leipzig when he was at Stuttgart as well. And he's just not been the same player since he went to Chelsea. And you feel like he's just been cursed in some way. And his confidence has just never been the same. I actually thought he had a pretty good performance in the whole, but it's just he can't miss the chances that he did today. He should have had a brace. And that's not being that, I think, harsh or anything. I think you should say that. I think he should have had a brace in that game and should have been able to put away both those chances. I think both of them were pretty easy chances for a striker, especially when you're played that clean through. And if it were Sonny on the end of those, I think we would have expected him to put away both. Whereas with Timo Werner, I'm not so sure if anybody had that much confidence in him putting them in, but they did look relatively easy for which should be a guy that at one point in his career got 36 goals and assists for an RB Leipzig team. Alec, Man United 3, Spurs 3, Man United 0. What massively has improved your mental health? That did, I think, for a lot of us. That certainly did. Brennan's dad, this is him, by the way. Brennan's dad, member of the Flat Cap Army, also looking very, very nice in that suit and that flat cap. He looks like a very approachable, very friendly guy. Someone like I said maybe before, someone you would ask for directions, just a really nice looking guy in the stands. And I love that he's a member of the Flat Cap Army. Good looking man, Brendan Johnson's dad. Delonia saying not a single person on this panel gives a crap about Spurs. I think, what do we have there? We have Darren Bent, Ashley Cole, and then I think, what is it? I'm trying to remember Redknapp's son. I don't know why I'm forgetting it now, but yes, definitely maybe a panel that doesn't, let's say, have the kindest of thoughts usually for Tottenham Hotspur. Squawka saying most chances created at Old Trafford in the Premier League season. Dejan Kulusevski 9, Andreas Pereira, and then it's Casemiro, Marcus Rashford, Mason Mount, and Garnacho. The top two don't even play for Man United. What a performance from Kulusevski. Sincerely, what a performance, but also just a further stat to show how much more Manchester United are in the mud. Jamie Redknapp, thank you, Ash P. Paul Connor, good to see you. A live Twitter reacts. Big up, Jack. Hopefully you're enjoying it, Paul. Trying to do it as best I can. Like I said earlier, unfortunately, we're going to have to make a slight change to the schedule here. No fan show this evening, but there should be a player ratings and a tactical breakdown live on the Big Up Network. I'll put the link in there in just a second for you guys, but hopefully you guys can join me for that one and keep me company. Give me your thoughts on the tactics of the game. Also, get involved in the player ratings for all the guys. Just a nice, lovely Tottenham hangover. And I think we've nicknamed it the Tottenham hangover just because, there are times when, let's say, it doesn't go well for Spurs, it probably feels like a hangover, or when we have a great, great win like that, maybe people were celebrating and they go into the next game feeling a little bit like a good hangover from the last night and the last win. But hopefully, you guys join me for that one over on the Big Up Network. The link I'll put in the chat in just a second for you guys. But thank you, Paul, for joining me. Really appreciate you. And thanks to Michael W. from joining the chat. Thank you as well to anybody else that's watching along. If you can for me again, smash the like button and do get in those comments, please. I'll keep my eye on it as best I can. Aaron Lennon, very happy about Solanke, as he should. And then this is one of the better tweets I saw. Sneha saying, my daughter is going to be so mad when I name her Mickey Van de Ven. All one word, all one name, first name as well. Mickey Van de Ven, and then include the surname towards the end there. Absolutely love that. And this was great. Barnaby saying this picture is now officially iconic. This one probably should have been on the thumbnail, but look at our man Ange, just looking glorious with the coffee cup, looking stoic, looking like a philosopher practically, almost someone that's about to go in and teach a lecture. He just looks so good there. Kulusevski, since he got that father dopamine, he's been prime brawn. Kulusevski is just really turned into a whole new player in the midfield. I think a lot of us who were Kulusevski fans knew how good this guy is. It's just he has never really found a true position to call his own. And I think in this midfield and this Ange Postecoglou system, we're finally starting to see an area where we can really get the truly best out of Kulusevski. Where he's in midfield, he can work hard out of possession for us. He can be that guy that can win the ball back, be one of the hardest working players in the press. But then when we need someone to drop deep, hold up the ball, be able to play with his back to goal, back to his defender, he's one of the best there is in the team at that. And then also when you do get going forward, when there is an opening, he does know how to carry us up the pitch. He knows how to take it past a player or two, knows how to thread a good pass, knows how to be able to find players. He's just been really good for us in a lot of different ways in that midfield. Troll Football saying we are feasting today. Man United plays football. Man United fans. Man United plays football. Man United rivals. That's me on the other side of the bus. I absolutely feast on any of the Man United misery and any of their bad performances. I absolutely love it. Billy just quote tweeting Jamie Carragher, who said, and just Tottenham are a great watch, but they also are great to play against. And Billy just showing our man Ange in the stands, just leaving that there for Jamie Carragher to respond to. Simon Yamain, 4-4. Shush him, baby. Durant Johnson, the prophecy is coming true. Spurs Express, just giving some praise to Bentancur, as you should, I think. Composure, experience, and technical security. Bentancur provided exactly what Spurs needed from their number 6 today, as he seems to be proving every game that he's rediscovering his best form. This is a Tottenham midfielder, and this is a Rodrigo Bentancur appreciation post. I think he had a very underappreciated, very unsung performance in that game. Thought he was so classy in either winning the ball back for us, getting the ball back into the midfield or to the strikers, was really good in possession, didn't make really any mistakes that I can remember in possession as well. Just a really solid performance from our man. The Spurs Express saying a deserved red. For me, I think in the modern game it was, Bruno Fernandes tackle. He slipped, but he doesn't need to then stick a foot out in that type of manner, especially with the studs up. And it was also a cynical challenge. So he slips, knows that James Madison is going to go blow past him, and then he just does whatever he can to try to take him down. And he doesn't really do it, let's say, in the kindest or really the softest of manners. He's doing it with the bottom end of his stud, to a guy's shin, even higher than the shin, close to the knee practically, to take him down. And I think in modern game, in the modern era, that's probably a stone cold red card. It's not really the most nasty of challenges, but it's also not really a clever one from Bruno Fernandes. It's a bit of a lazy challenge, and I think they will punish you for that. That's how I at least feel on it. And BLN 17 saying most complete performance so far this season. Could have had 5 or 6 goals comfortably, but a huge win. Come on, you Spurs. A huge win indeed. And look at the stats as well. Over 60% possession, 20 shots plus, 10 on target, which is good to see us getting more of these shots on target, because plenty of games we get up that many shots, but we aren't able to always get them on target and work the keeper. But this game we did, and created 9 big chances, which just shows that we probably should have scored maybe more than the 3 goals. And the 3-0 is actually being rather kind to Manchester United. And JZR, life with Mickey Van de Ven. Oh, very, very, very good. It does feel that way. Just it's like having a superhero at the back. It's like having a complete cheat code of a center back in the back line. He's just unreal. There's no one like him in this universe. No one like him. Age saying highest expected goals number accumulated by an away team in the Premier League since Manchester City against Norwich City in 20 22. That's very, very interesting, and just shows that Spurs really dominated that game, and we blew them away. Again, one of the best performances I've ever seen from Spurs, especially under Ange Postecoglou. Stateside footy, thank you, my friend. But Seattle's doing good, my man. I was actually just enjoying the last Seattle Mariners game of the season. That's why the Twitter Reacts is actually going out today, especially in live form, than it would be normally as a pre-record between Dave and myself. Dave, I think, had some things come up that evening, and then I also completely forgot that after the Man United win, I was actually supposed to go celebrate, the last Mariners game of the season with my friend, and had to zoom off, go watch that game, and then came back and was just enjoying the rest of the Sunday. And Seattle is doing very good. Thank you for asking, my friend. And Paul G saying yellow if he did it in control. What makes it a red is he was just out of control and studs up the leg. Completely agree with you there, Paul. And I just think, yeah, it's just a nasty, lazy challenge, really, from Bruno Fernandes. Michael W saying Kulu is now home in the midfield. That he is, baby. That he is. He's looking very, very good in the midfield. Cody Mack saying the glorious liquid. This is glorious liquid football. Effing inject it. This is Ange ball. Indeed, it is. Stat Muse. Mickey Van de Ven has more assists this season than any other Man United player. Oh, geez. And both of those assists, probably the best assists you could ever see in a season. Sean THFC saying, I don't care how this finishes. Don't tell me you're not impressed by this. We go to away grounds and we dominate them. We destroy the morale of the home fans. It may take time to fully cook, but this is the way. And you know it. I do agree with Sean THFC that even if that didn't go, let's say perfectly, let's say Man United made a horrible comeback of some kind, I still would have taken a lot of positives from that performance because it was just sheer domination. And look at THFC saying Van de Ven run and 4 in a row for Brent. This is very, very good. Apologies to your eardrums. Amen. Just doing a lovely screenshot. Life under Eric Ten Hag. Solanke anime celebration at Old Trafford might send me over the edge. Well, you were gifted that Solanke celebration, and he's coming up with new ones every single time. It's hard to keep up at this stage. Neo answering Domino's pizza in the UK starts with P, and we all love it. Well, it's not pizza, it's Pedro Porro, baby. Mark Goldbridge, credit to Spurs, by the way, spot on from second one. Effort, cohesion, and desire, complete opposite to our untrustworthy lot. Simon Humane say cocky, arrogant Brennan is the best version of Brennan. Unfortunately, it looks like it got blocked by a certain media owner. Jay Andrews saying big call by Ange, going with Bentancur over Basuma and fully vindicated. Thought Rodrigo was great today. I think I completely agree. I think Bentancur was the right choice originally. I said even before the ball was kicked, I think even during the match preview, the members preview for all of you guys, I think I did say that Bentancur would have been my preferred midfielder in the number 6 role. I think I even made a case to play both Basuma and Bentancur, but I always tend to lean a bit more defensive minded than most. I kind of am a bit boring that way, where I like to have a tad bit more defensive security in midfield as well as in the back line. But under Ange ball, we're seeing the benefits of thinking the complete opposite, thinking more attack minded, being more on the front foot. And we've gone with, again, Madison and Kulusevski. And Ange Postecoglou has been completely vindicated by that. And Bentancur as well, I think he's been vindicated by persisting with him. 3-0, baby, to United. There's that's in the thumbnail. Big John Bass. Just wish we weren't so easy to play against. Kara from Billy. Love that. Troll football, Tottenham's new logo. This is very good. There it is. Just a big baldy. Eric Ten Hag. We've made him our whooping made him our whooping boy. Ayudi saying Dom tagging Sonny in the celebration. I think they were definitely missing Sonny in a game like this, but also credit to the players for stepping up without Sonny, stepping up in his absence, and being leaders, being accountable for each other, being accountable for themselves. Really good performance from the whole lot, as well as Solanke. But I also love that they're still showing love to their capitan, our man Sonny. Simon Humane, nobody was happier for him than Romero. Romero was very big in that celebration. I think he was even giving Bergvall some slaps as well. He was that pumped by the goal. Troll football answering this quote tweet saying Rome wasn't built in a day. Trust in the process. And he's saying Rome wasn't built by an effing idiot. Yeah, I think Ten Hag is definitely going to go sometime soon. Tottenham Hotspur, catch him if you can. Mickey Van de Ven, Mickey Hazard saying great performance. We were better against 11 than against 10. Finishing still needs to get better, as it could have been 7, but a super performance, some beautiful football. Come on, you Spurs. I think I agree with Mickey Hazard that we actually still would have blown them away if there were 11 on the pitch, even with 10. I think it was flattering to Man United that we still only beat them 3-0, and that's down to the finishing still not being, really up to par. But if we create the chances in the manner that we do, and also if we work hard for each other out of possession in the way that we do, I think we will still keep the goals down for the most part. Yes, we'll concede chances. Yes, there will be some sketchy moments, but that's kind of the risk that you take when you're trying to play the style of football where you are looking to dominate teams and you are actually looking to put 7-6 past, a lot of the sides you come up against. And with that type of style, there will come risks. And I think it was a very, very good performance from the whole team. Dominic Solanke on Instagram, Mickey Team of the Week, please. Looks like Dom Solanke's on the new FIFA. Squawka saying Dejan Kulusevski has created 7 chances from open play versus Manchester United. He's the first visiting player to do this in a Premier League game at Old Trafford since Opta started recording stats back in 2003. What a stat line there from Squawka, and what a performance that Dejan Kulusevski had, and definitely a lot of the stats back it up. Eric Ten Hag and Mickey Van de Ven, it's not possible a center back can dribble through the whole team and put a cross in. I think that's just one of Van de Ven or Ten Hag's excuses. He's trying to find the excuses he can. Basically, he's just saying that Mickey Van de Ven is a cheat code. Love to see that. Love to see that. Just good, good to see you, Kate. Just a girl loves Spurs. Big up, Jack. Great win yesterday. Indeed, it was. We also have Tyler saying you're going to watch the Braves Mets. I'm going to try my best to catch some of the baseball with my brother today, Tyler. Don't you worry. But I am got some work to do. Got that tactical breakdown I got to prepare for. Player ratings got to prepare for. So do join me for that one later, everybody. Would really appreciate it if you guys can, because I think it'll be a fun video. I think it'll be a good way for us to, again, still bask in the win, still be able to enjoy our Tottenham Hotspur, but also do something a bit different, right? Where get out the tactics board, kind of set things up to take a deeper dive, a deeper look into things. And I am going to put that link here in the chat for you guys. That is going to be the stream later on, hopefully around 7 p.m. UK. And we'll be doing a player ratings and a tactical breakdown for you guys. Mikey Moore football for more than 10 minutes. It's the best thing you want to be seeing with Mikey Moore coming onto the pitch. Troll football, disgusting scenes as Old Trafford stewards are forcing Man United fans to stay and watch the match versus Tottenham until the final whistle. Oh, the poor lot. Spurs. Webb saying a special performance from Decky at Old Trafford. That was, and good to see the fans as well buzzing for him. Triple fist bump from Kulusevski. He was really feeling it after that goal. Brendan Johnson smiling to Mickey Van de Ven, I think, after the goal, after he tapped in that great goal. And Mickey Van de Ven, just what a goal, what a run, what a cross. And Brendan Johnson feeling good afterwards. Lily White Lion saying winning everything and setting the tempo. Nice to see that Bentancur being given some praise. And also just what a beast. Like that face. I actually went into the barber the other day and I was very tempted to try to go for the Rodrigo Bentancur beard style, which I'm a big fan of. I love kind of the really shaved kind of sideburns, and then it just slowly kind of grows into a much deeper, fuller beard as you get closer to kind of the chin line. I think it's just actually a class look from Bentancur. He looks like a proper midfielder. I feel unstoppable, like I can do whatever I want. Dejan Kulusevski on his new role in midfield. Well, he looks like he's doing whatever he wants in that midfield. He's playing that well. 3-3 for Big Dom as he adds third at Old Trafford. And it was a great finish, a great poacher's goal as well from Dominic Solanke. And that's the thing with having a striker like him, is that they're not always going to score the sexiest of goals, but you need them to be there at the right place at the right time. You need them to sniff out those moments, those chances, and to occupy the center backs in the way that he does. And him getting that goal is very well deserved. And also, we're just going to watch this back quickly, but if you can tell, if you look a little deeper, when Bergvall, who whips in a terrific corner, and it's a great header from Sarr. Maybe we don't give him enough praise for winning that initial header, but if you see Romero here, everybody, he does give Bergvall, it looks like, a couple slaps to the face, like in the in the huddle here, in the team bonding little moment. And I actually thought it was brilliant. Bergvall, you see coming in here, you can see Romero is in the middle, and he starts giving Bergvall a couple of slaps. Just I love that man. Romero. Big John Bass saying Sky will make this all about them and their manager, but we've dominated them from minute one and got exactly what we've deserved. brilliant today, and we've turned a corner. Ange Express rolls on. Yes, it is. It's rolling on, and love this picture as well. From Ange on his knees to Brennan Johnson shushing to Neil Mopai in the corner there to Big Dom Solanke shooting the arrows. What a great image on the Ange Express. A proud David Johnson watched on at Old Trafford as his son scored and put in a great all-round display. And I love that look. Love that he's part of the Flat Cap Army. Casemiro was the missing piece. Amrabat was the missing piece. Ugarte was the missing piece. Yeah, just going to be constant complaining, constant just rolling back the same excuses, the same logic, the same rhetoric that Man United fans are going to have to do for the next couple of years. It's very, very funny. I absolutely love that one. And maybe some people caught me when I retweeted that. StatMuse saying players who have scored 4 in straight games, Brendan Johnson and Kylian Mbappe. Well, puts things into perspective and shows how on form this man Brennan is. Pedro Porro was with the shout out to Sonny. He's showing the team love to our man Sonny, who unfortunately wasn't able to be there for that game. This man returning to form has massively improved my mental health. Yes, it has for me as well. AFC Ajax saying, serious question: has there ever been a faster player in the Premier League than Mickey Van de Ven? We were asking that actually on the Big Up Network during a watch along the other day. And I think I was talking to Edward, I was talking to maybe Sean as well, and some other people. If Daniel Larson might have been on the stream too. Big up Daniel Larson. And we were asking, is he faster than prime Kyle Walker? If anybody wants to answer that in the chat, you're certainly welcome to do that. But I do think he might have been might have been probably faster than even Kyle Walker was in his prime at Spurs when Kyle Walker was at his peak kind of athletic shape and ability. I think Van de Ven is even more athletic, even faster, even quicker, especially if you were to look at like a 50-yard, 60-yard type of sprint. I think Van de Ven would probably be able to beat him just with those long legs. But to even think of someone being faster than Kyle Walker is just scary to think about. Absolutely scary to think about. Good to see you in the house, Dry Roast Peanut. What a player Solanke is indeed. And Tyler, have you looked at Decky's stats from yesterday? Absolutely incredible. I'm glad him and Ange figured out his best position. He was looking very good, my friend. Read right on. Big up to you. Hopefully you're keeping well. Michael W saying, I still think Sarr would have had the header if Solanke did not toe poke it. Either way, a great goal. Maybe he stole a goal, is what you're saying from Pop Montessar. Interesting thought. Interesting thought. Dr. Johnny D saying, bring on the youngsters. Berg Baltasar, then Solanke goal. The more attempt was a worldy of a shot. No, I think we all would have lost it if that had gone into the net. That's for sure. And Stat Muse saying Dejan Kulusevski created 9 chances versus Manchester United. No other player has more in a single game in the last 3 Premier League seasons. Again, some of these stats for Dejan Kulusevski are just ridiculous. And last but certainly not least, Simon Yemain saying Solanke with the crucial tackle and header to make this goal happen. He offers so much more than just being a threat in the box. This is kind of what I mean by what kind of that large man, physical, big man up top type of striker can do for you, and that he can do a lot of these little things that come a bit unnoticed that maybe not everyone can technically see or can technically appreciate, because when you are a big guy like Solanke, these are kind of the little dirty things and the little things that you need to do well. Like he absolutely barges whoever that is and just wins it really well there. And then just a quick, sort of nodded header into the pathway of Kulusevski and Johnson, which just starts off the whole attack. Like that attack just doesn't happen if it isn't for that bit of physical play from someone like Solanke. And that's what I've really liked about him, is he's just doing kind of the basic work of your large man up top. And why I'm also such a big fan of that type of striker is because they do these type of things that maybe go a tad bit unnoticed or underappreciated. And that's just great work play, great center forward play from our man Solanke. And he really has been great from his hold up play to dropping deep, helping players out. He hasn't given it away too often either. When he does drop deep to receive it, he does know how to get it off to someone, doesn't usually lose it too much in bad areas. Been really good at not being, kind of pushed around or being shoved off the ball. And he's just been good in so many different assets. And he works his absolute tail off out of possession for us. Such a good presser, Dominic Solanke. But there you have it, everybody. That is the Twitter Reacts. If you can for me, smash the like button on your way out. And also do join me, please, for this stream later, the one that I've just put in the chat, the one with the link. It is going to be a tactical setup and player ratings. We're just going to take a deep dive into some of the tactics of the game, how Spurs were able to find so much success against Man United. We're also going to take a recap, ask each other, what your thoughts were on some of the individual performances of the players, and we'll do a player ratings for it. So feel free to come on and join me for that. Also, for at least the player ratings portion. I'm not sure if you guys can technically join me for the tactical part, but you can come on stream and even, join me for parts of it if you would like to. If you wanted to make a request and join in the chat, you certainly can do that, where we can't normally do that on a lot of live streams, like, for example, this one. So if you wanted to join me on the stream, please do so. Head on over to the Big Up Network. There's supposed to be I think, a post for it in the community section. I'll try to put one out on Twitter as well if you guys follow me over there, as well as the Irish Hotspur account. And I'll see you all later for that one. But please join us for that. Would be really massive help. They are a network that is supporting this channel, and also they're trying to invent and do cool new things like the tactics board and like plenty of other stuff. So we would really be appreciative of you guys joining us there. Fan show should be either tomorrow or Wednesday. Just take a look at community section when we make an update on that. Apologies that this came out a little bit late and also in the live portion. Again, we're not going to always make these live. Just if we have to, we will. But thank you guys for joining if you did. And thanks for, keeping me company and supporting this channel, especially while I'm still doing it solo at the moment today. And Dave, like I said, just had some personal things going on. I also, as well, yesterday forgot about some personal stuff that I had to take care of and do yesterday. So we're just trying to catch up as best we can and still bask in the win as best we can. I really appreciate you guys. Come on, you Spurs. And the Big Ant